Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another mini guide video over here. And the feature of this mini guide video is, of course, going to be on Lynae. Because one thing is very, very, very clear at this point in the game, knowing where we've gotten in version 3.2 and where we're probably going to go in version 3.3. This is probably, without a doubt, the best overall unit in the game from the perspective of what she adds to your account. Lynae is, without a doubt, a game changer for pretty much every single player that's ever going to play this game, pretty much to the same degree as a shorekeeper. I think it's actually very fair to say that she's like a sub DPS buffer hybrid version of shorekeeper with what she actually does and the things that you can actually do once you've pulled her. And the purpose of today is to break down just how the environment of the game has shifted since her release as the very first banner of version 3.0, what use cases she's probably going to have in the future, and of course, what you're able to do right now. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and let's start breaking down what makes her kit so damn strong. So when it comes to Lynae, I think the best way for us to actually go through her kit is to first start off with, well, the main appeal of pulling her, and that's going to be her buffs. And everybody's outro skill typically is the first place that you're going to start when it comes to seeing the buffs in a kit. For Lynae, she has a very unique one. 15% all damage amplification, followed by 25% Resonance Liberation damage amplification. And so that's an outro skill that is a combination of general, while obviously specifying Resonance Liberation damage a lot more. Unfortunately, some people might look at this and then just think she's mainly a liberation buffer, and you should really only use her with liberation characters. That actually couldn't be further from the truth. And this is why. This is only part of her buffing. She's got so much more, it's crazy. So her liberation is where we're going to be going next, because this ability deals a decent amount of spectro damage. I'm not going to go ahead and say that it's the most ridiculous thing ever. It's about an 870% motion value, 875%. And while this attack over here looks like it does stuff, you're never going to use it because its animation is way too long. It also does this. Casting the ability buffs the damage dealt by all nearby resonators in the team by 24% for 30 seconds. And you can see there's no attribute, there's no damage type in here. Everyone just gets a 24% attribute damage buff simply from existing the second she uses this thing. And, well, guess what? She benefits from it as well. And so you can basically just imagine that Lynae has a bunch of self buffs as well as a massive buff to her teammates. And when you combine this with her outro skill over here, where you can clearly see there's still 50% all damage amp, well, that's another bonus too. But this is also the other thing, guys. We're not done over here when it comes to the buffs. Lynae's kit, basically, you'll see a lot of different words in here. The idea is that she's going to charge up her Forte circuit at a certain point, jump 3 times once the Forte circuit is filled after doing her special heavy attack, where she kind of like charges up and then like fucking rams into the enemy. She then gets sent into the air, and then you jump 3 times. And when you basic attack after those 3 jumps, after those polychrome leaps that you're seeing, you know, 1/3 of Illumithro, all of that, that's how much it costs. She uses this attack called Visual Impact. And when she uses Visual Impact, ladies and gentlemen, that's basically one of the biggest nukes in her kit. You can actually see it does way more than her liberation itself. 1200% damage. It's more than her liberation. And it'll also have the 24% damage buff from her liberation too. So she's got that big splash. She doesn't actually deal that much damage because her stats really aren't that great. But she also does something else on top of it. She buffs all nearby resonators in the team with 40 points of Tune Break Boost. And some people might be wondering, okay, what the fuck is Tune Break Boost? Tune Break Boost is the stat that makes your tune breaks deal more damage. You know that thing where you press F to like fire a shot at the enemy, or you stab them, or you like slash them, you do whatever? If you're a gauntlet user, you just like do something and then they just explode. That's a tune break. And so she also buffs that shit as well with this ability, and you get 40 points of it for 30 seconds. That's essentially where her kind of like kit ends here. Her basic attacks and her resident skill, all of that stuff over here, it's mainly just done to build up her forte or to just like give her some energy. It's not really like a big deal. You don't need to focus on these too much. We've got over the essentials of why she's good, but there's still more because all of these buffs, all these abilities, all these things that we've talked about over here with these 3 main parts of her kit, well, ladies and gentlemen, there's more because she's got inherent abilities. The first one over here, not really that important. It just focuses more on her ability to like apply tune effects. We'll talk about those in a second. And then, of course, she also gets a bit of a mini spectral damage boost as well. So I mentioned before that her personal damage isn't that great. It's all right for a sub DPS, but it's nothing to write home about. Her rotation is pretty short, but you can see that she's got a decent amount of stuff backing her up. Now, though, we've got to actually exit her kit to really see the full deal when it comes to her buffing ability. And that's going to be taking a look at her signature set. So the thing about her signature set is that the main echo, Hivatia, gives another 10% all attribute damage bonus to the recipient of Lynae's outro skill. So now your total buffs are at 24% all damage, another 10% on top of that, and then you have the 15% all damage add from her outro, and then the 25% to liberation. But then there's more. Casting an outro skill increases the attack of the incoming resonator by 15%. So now we have a 15% attack buff, but then each point of Tomb Break boost the incoming resonator has increases their attack up to 15% more. And Lynae's 40 points of Tomb Break boost buff is enough to cap this out. So Pact of Neon Light Leap causes the recipient of her outro skill to also get 30% attack plus 10% all attribute damage bonus. Then you combine that with all this other shit she has, that 24% over here, and then the 15%, the 25% over here. Boy, oh boy, that's a lot of buffing, isn't it? But there's more, guys, because then you have the weapon. Her signature weapon gives up to 24% basic attack, or not 24% basic. It gives up to 24% all attribute damage bonus as well. But you don't even need this thing. This signature is one of the most unnecessary things in the game because you could just use this other weapon called Static Mist. And guess what Static Mist does, ladies and gentlemen? It makes her ER needs way easier to meet, but then it also provides another, well, at R3, 15% attack buff. So if I were to use this, I'm trading 24% all attribute damage bonus for 15% attack to the incoming resonator. That's fine. That's good. That's basically almost nearly equivalent, and the damage increase bonuses to the team differ by like, bro, like less than 5%, like 5 to 10% in terms of performance when it comes to buffing. And so basically, you're at the point where she is one of the best buffers in the game, probably the best generalist buffer, because you don't need to use her with the liberation damage dealer. Bro, you can use her with people that do basic attack damage like Camellia. You can use her with people that deal resident skill damage like Carlotta. Carlotta's new best in slot team actually features Mornier and Lynae, but we'll talk about the reason for that later. So the situation basically is, on release, she was one of the best generalist buffers we had in the game. And now that we've seen how she performs with so many of the other units, she just kind of is. And she's able to get it done on a budget that's just, frankly, ridiculous. She's able to get it done on the level where every single person in the game should have a copy of her, because she just works on a standard weapon that you can get from the selector banner, and she loses almost no efficiency at all. And the best part about this, and the best part about, her being so free to play friendly, her sequence nodes are so shit, it's unbelievable. Bro, her sequence nodes actually have to be some of the worst I've ever seen in the game, so you're never even incentivized to get close to pulling them. That's how big of a fucking joke they are. Like, the first two might be something that people think about. Bro, it like increases the damage multiplier of her leaps by 120%. These abilities don't even deal damage in the first place. And then like she gets like some interruption immunity, but you can't even get interrupted during these attacks. The interruption immunity she gets isn't even real because I've never been interrupted casting any of these attacks before. Not a single time in any of the days I've ever played her. Have you guys ever been interrupted doing Lynae's jumps? No, I don't think so. Have you ever been interrupted doing visual impact? No, I don't think so. I don't even think it's possible. So it's like this part of the sequence node is just fake. And the only real thing in here, guys, that like actually helps in combat, because it's not like this is making her deal damage in the first place. This is like a fucking 5% damage increase or some shit. She gets a little bit of traction. Woo! Oh, she gets a little bit of sucky sucky. That's it. That is it. She just gets a little bit of traction. That's it. Joke. Clown show. Ridiculous. Not even something to be factored in. And then her S2 gives her 25% all damage amplification, which is like kind of neat, right? But she doesn't really do that much damage in the fucking first place. And then her second part, bro, it makes her outro give 25% more amp. Which is like, sure, it's like kind of, sure, it's all right. But like, for an S2, because you gotta factor in it's 2 sequence nodes. It's not just 1, right? It's not just 1. You have to get the second one to get this. If this was on S1, I could see it, right? If this was on S1, I would be like, oh, okay, maybe this is something. But because this is on S2, bro, and you have to get this dog shit S1 to get here, bro, this just, like, compare it to every other sequence node in the game. It falls behind, doesn't it? Because it's, like, functionally, it's a minor damage boost for her, and then a 25% outro. Bro, you're already getting 15. You're already getting, like, 15 over here, and then if they're a liberation damage dealer, it's, like, even less. So my personal take is just, guys, keep her at S0. Never even think about getting her sequence nodes. And the worst thing that can probably happen to you when pulling on Lynae's banner, right, is this. You get a double. Getting a double with this character is like functionally getting nothing. I'm gonna be honest. That is how mid her sequence nodes as a whole feel. So just get 1 copy, get static mist. Don't even think about pulling her weapon. But you kind of really want this fucking unit on your account. You kind of really, really, really do. Because, well, think about it this way. There's going to be another character that likely reruns during the anniversary, right? There's likely a character that's going to rerun during the anniversary that you really want to pair up with your Lynae to have some absolutely insane performance. And that is, of course, going to be Mornier over here. But before we dive into that, probably got to talk a little bit about our stat requirements. You typically want 130% ER on Lynae and then double crit. That's it. Yeah, her Echo build is somewhat easy. It can be a little bit hard. You want about 130% ER and then double crit. That's pretty much it. But unfortunately, if you get a low ER roll like me, like this, like, bro, this is, yeah, I'm going to be honest, this shit is disease. Yeah, I might need to roll another one. Low ER rolls on this character are fucking depressing. Hey, maybe that's enough. Hey, give me some crit damage here, crit rate. Oh, son of a fucking bitch. Like, it's just, you really want 130% ER. And if you don't have it, you're in for a bit of a rough ride. As you can see over here, I'm in a bit of a rough ride at the moment. Yeah, no, I'm basically just bricking the account at this point. Yeah, no, this is not good. Yeah, no, this is not good. Hey, maybe I'll get it. Hey, maybe I'll get it. Hey, it's okay. I have this thing called a credit card. How about you just get off my back? 130% ER is the goal for this unit. And so getting like a low ER roll like this one over here, that's 6.8, it can feel rather bastardizing, right? But the situation over here can only arise if you have her signature. Because guess what Static Mist gives, guys? A fuck ton of ER by itself. And so save yourself the headache. Don't pull this fucking unit signature like I did. Just don't pull it and just get Static Mist. And then you got to get like, what, 1 or 2 ER rolls and you're good? It's easier to build and play her on Static Mist than it is on her own signature because you need 30% ER. And guess what Static Mist does, ladies and gentlemen? It gives you a shit ton of fucking ER. So just go for this one. Don't make the mistake that I did, because why am I wasting tuners right now? It's because I have her signature. That's the only reason I'm using tuners at the moment, because I want that extra 3.2% of ER, and I would have it if I was using Static Mist. And so this is like pay to lose. Honestly, her signature is pay to lose. That's how it feels. How much more free-to-play friendly can a unit get when her sig feels pay to lose? Because all I've had from pulling it is literally suffering. But like, I pulled it, so I gotta level it. I gotta use it. Otherwise, like, why did I fucking pull it? That's sunk cost fallacy in effect over there, and it's clearly affecting me a lot. So now that we covered that, we talked about all the weapon options and stuff. It's pretty clear. It should already be extremely clear why this unit is fucking broken. Now let's get into the next piece, though. And that is this. Tune Rupture. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. What Lynae has in her kit is the ability to inflict Tune debuffs. And Tune Rupture essentially is, whenever you Tune Break, deal an explosion of damage to enemies. that also happens to scale off of your Tomb Break boost. And so the end result is that when Lynae is combined with people that can respond to Tomb Rupture, you can see over here, other characters will also deal Tomb Rupture damage as well. And guess who responds to Tomb Rupture damage? Oh, right, we got this unit over here. She can respond to it. And so the end result, guys, the end result of doing this is that when you put Lynae and Mornier on a team together, you can take a, like, literal corpse and clear content. This is kind of what I mean by that. Let me go take the resident corpse over here of the roster and show you what it's capable of. Let's just go ahead and go into the TOA real fast and do some team runs. And of course, when you decide to use actual, more fully developed teams, well, it only gets crazier from there. Let's get this going. How about we take this? We take a unit like... Zhang Liao. Been a while, hasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? It has been a while since we've seen this guy in some action, hasn't it? Yeah, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. Why not? Damn, did we just blind parry his ass? And Lynae's rotation is one of the easiest ones on the planet, bro. You just go in, cast her skill, then cast her liberation, do all of that. And you see the burst of damage over there, right, from that Tomb Rupture attack? Ton of damage. Who cares if we miss the Zhang Liao hit? Who cares if we miss the crit? Because with Mornier's off-tune build-up rate increase, right, and all of that jazz, we get 2 Tomb Ruptures in one rotation. We still deal really, really good damage. And of course, Zhang Liao's a Resonance Liberation damage dealer. That much is absolutely true. He also generates a lot of ER, so Lynae doesn't really need that much on this team. Boom. And now we actually get a real Zhang Liao crit on that one, right? Boom. Notice how much damage that 2 Rupture stuff is doing? That's pretty good, isn't it? And Lynae might... She might kill the guy here. Nice. And that's good for us. Because it lets us do a couple of things. The main thing being... Well, use visual impact... And then start building up another Tomb Break on the boss. And that's really important, right? You see that bar in, like, the top left, right next to its HP. The more of those we're able to get in one rotation, the more damage. And because Mornier makes that bar build up faster, and she also responds... Well, guess what, guys? That's a lot of damage. And will we be able to clear here? I think we will. Yeah, probably like one more Tomb Break boost. It is close. Maybe the fact that we missed that big crit at the beginning was kind of bad. Oh, yeah, we got it. We got it. So, yeah, L crits on there, but that is the level of performance that can happen. You can take some of the lowest performing units in the game and then get like 3-star clears with them. And obviously, I'm like commenting the whole time. I probably could have spiced up those rotations a little bit, but that's what they're capable of. Lynae only crit once. Lynae was missing all of her crits too. Yeah, that's probably a situation. If Lynae was missing all of her crits, well, that's not very good either, isn't it? So that is what you can do with some of the, again, lowest performing units on the roster. Some people are saying like try Jinsey and stuff like that. Nah, that doesn't really make very much sense, does it? And crits are unfortunately a bit of a big variable in these teams. This is basically known as the wheelchair composition because there's so much actual rupture damage that's happening. And so much damage happens off field with Lynae and Mornier. And so as a result, you can put in a bunch of different characters into this composition. However, you do got to keep in mind that those characters need to have a pretty high baseline level of performance to feel good in the first place. Now, though, we all kind of like already know how good like the tuned teams are. I don't think I need to comment on them too much, but we might as well. We all know that this is the best team in the game, right? And one of the reasons for why this is the best team in the game is because you not only get one unit that can respond to Toon Rupture, she applies it as well. Aemeath also applies it and responds to it. Mornier simply responds to it. And so the end result is that, like, you take this wheelchair composition that is able to take some teams and make them clear exceptionally well, and then you add a character that's actually specializing in Toon Rupture damage. And so the end result is that you get the strongest team in the game featuring Lynae, but there's so many other characters you can put into this third slot. And guess what Aemeath is getting in a future patch? The next one. Aemeath is getting her Fusion Burst team with Chisa. So if you got a unit like Iuno, right? Maybe let's see what a Iuno looks like with a Static Mist, right? Because maybe you've got your Augusta team, right? And your Iuno's kind of just been, you know, you want to split up your Augusta team. Use Augusta with more Teffy to go clear, and then you're like, oh, well, my Iuno now needs a partner. Well, then why don't I just go ahead and put Iuno into this team? Let's see what happens over here. And make it even more budget-friendly by going with Static Mist. Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh, wait, I think I even messed up the Iuno main DPS rotation. Yeah, no, I even messed up the rotation. I guess it doesn't matter, though. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter, though. It's been a while since I played this team. Here we go. This is a proper Iuno DPS rotation. And this is probably the most effective use of the wheelchair composition, assuming that, like, your Aemeath is busy elsewhere. Just know that this team is kind of unplayable outside of the TOA, because you definitely don't want to use this in Wuthering Waves. It's kind of a TOA DPM only lineup. And of course, right, you always have the decision of, do I just want to use this team like with Augusta or something instead? That's another thing as well, right? But if your Augusta's with the more Teffy, is that really an issue? And so, yeah, Iuno is clearly, with her signature, a very, very, very strong character. But then you're seeing those ruptures also come in for some massive damage. And that's just something kind of insane, isn't it? And that clears exceptionally well, right? One thing to keep in mind, though, is that this stage does have a 20% more total arrow damage increase, and Iuno is an arrow character. So in more realistic circumstances, it should probably clear at like 3 or like 255, something like that. Maybe we're shaving off like 10 seconds with a clear like this one. Now, though, we got to talk about some other lineups that this team supports a lot. And it's kind of just this, right? You scale very well with a character like Luuk Herson. Because what Luuk Herson actually focuses on is this thing called Toon Strain. However, my personal take is that Luuk Herson isn't actually the best in slot for Lynae, and Lynae is not the best in slot for him. And Lynae's kind of just like the backup option for a character that Luuk should probably be relying on later, because Luuk deals this thing called basic attack damage. Lynae buffs mainly liberation damage. And so part of her outro just does not exist for this guy, even though she has a Toon Strain mode over here that works really well with him to buff his overall damage. And the thing is that it's just a bit of a rough situation for the guy, right? It is a bit of a rough situation for him, but hopefully we should be seeing his Toon Strain partner soon. However, this team still performs as well, but you got to make sure that Lynae is also on her Toon Strain mode before getting this one done. And we'll just run this one with Static Mist as well for fun, just so you guys can see like what the potential's looking like. Oh, we hit that parry? Yeah, because we're a bit of a freak, aren't we? Yeah, we're a bit of a freak, aren't we, you cripple? Wrong mode. You put her back on Rupture? No fucking way. No fucking way. I feel like Chad is just yanking my pizzle. Oh, no, you weren't. Oh, no, you weren't. Pizzle unyanked. All right. Anyways. I just did a quick little swap in here to get some Toon Strain applicators on there. You can see he's going to have some stacks now. Very, very cool stuff. Bro's hitting some sick parries. And I think I missed a crit there. I think I missed a crit there, didn't I? And just know that this stage... Oh my gosh, those are fucking meaty, bro. Those are meaty. And we should probably blow him up here with this one. Lynae also has really, really good tracking on that ability over there. Makes it really good if you're able to, like, attack bosses or, like, chase bosses like that with it. Oh, maybe I should have gotten the Tomb Break off. Yeah, we're going to be missing quite a bit of damage on that one. Yeah, maybe I should have gotten the Tomb Break off before using his Liberation. That's a bit of a misplay on me. And the thing is, like I mentioned before, she basically can't get interrupted on like any of these attacks. So you're kind of just free to like face roll. And her sequence node 1 is like, again, like the fakest shit I've ever seen. And I think it's the fakest stuff that like anyone has ever seen. And the guy should basically just explode over here. In this circumstance, yeah. And that's what that team is going to be looking like. Of course, with a fair number of missed crits and a big misplay by me to not use Luuk's liberation before tune breaking. So, yeah, I basically missed out on one of, like, his biggest damage buffs on his ultimate in that first rotation, and we did miss a lot of crits. My personal viewpoint is that Luuk is way too reliant on crits for him to function very well with Mornier. And so my personal take is that Luuk is actually going to have some better teams in the future that actually feature Shorekeeper. That's my personal take. And so hopefully he'll get a better teammate at this point in time. I know it looks like that's going to be his best in slot, but think about it this way. He's not a person that has a lot of crit built into his kit, right? No crit over here showing up in the Sonata set effect. Mornier is clearly meant to be used more so with characters, right? That Grant crit rate in their Echo set. And Aemeath happens to be one of those very lucky units that's able to get essentially 100% crit rate without any buffs from any other source. Because that's just kind of like how she's built. She's a little bit broken. So Aemeath over here gets to be one of those units that has like 96.6%. I'm still trying to get a better piece over here. Like, this is the most, like, embarrassing shit probably on my fucking account, bro. Do you know how many of these I've fucking rolled? Bro, I just want to roll one again. Surely I'll hit this time. Right? Bro, I have been rolling these for, like, since 3.1. I've literally been rolling these since 3.1, bro. And, like, I still don't have, like, a double crit piece with a single offensive substat. Literally, not even one, bro. Oh, am I out of juice? I'm already out of juice. Bro, HP. You see what's going on over here, right? Life is a little bit rough. So that's the situation happening with my Aemeath. She's got decent pieces elsewhere, but it's just a fucking disaster right now. So just know that my Aemeath that we're going to be demonstrating in the wheelchair composition, right? This is truly the best in slot team in the game. I would keep in mind, though, that people are probably overstating how actually good the wheelchair comp is. You should probably just be using it in some specific circumstances, right? I wouldn't say it's like the end-all be-all, especially after seeing like how that Zhang Liao team did. Oh, switch Lynae. Oh, you're right. You should be thinking about using the wheelchair comp team like this one a lot more with units like Carlotta, a lot more with units like Iuno, so on and so forth. I wouldn't think about it too much for like Luuk or something like that. And I actually wouldn't even think about it for Aemeath either. I think it might actually be a better idea just to use Denya, Chisa, and Aemeath at a later point, because you know that team is probably going to be pretty good. And then save the wheelchair comp for a different time. But for now, hey, this is going to be Lynae's best in slot team. It's also going to be the best team in the game. So let's just showcase why it's the best team in the game. Oh, the cripple got a parry. Nice. Okay, all right. Nah, her shit is bugged. So basically, if you restart too fast with Mornier, her inherent skills won't be up and you'll have no concerto. So even if you do hit some parries and stuff, sometimes make sure that you do like pause every once in a while. Otherwise, your concerto will look like mine and it's fucking unplayable. Oh, another parry? Bro, she's popping off today, man. And they can, like, do a little bit of, like, quick swap over here. You can actually do a little bit of, like, adjustments in Lynae's kit. That attack puts her in the air But you don't even, like, need to. You don't even need to, like... You can do other animations and stuff. And then boom over here. That's how you can do that Aemeath rotation a little bit faster. And you can see, oh, that might be the most damage yet. And the thing is, it's not like we went in and have like a 20% arrow damage buff. It's just the ruptures, so many of them in this team. It's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, the swab that you can do over here. Oh shit! Yeah, I'm a little bit out over here. Hopefully this guy dies here. Ah, no, we're not. Yeah, no, he's just gonna be a bitch here. Is the guy gonna spawn? Well, you could probably you guys probably get what's going on. I don't think I need to play that. I don't think I need to play that last fight. I don't want to anyways. Yeah, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. Yeah, you guys already saw that that's like, there's a reason why that one is the strongest team in the game, right? I don't probably need to explain anymore, right? It's very obvious from what you saw over there. Yeah, it's very obvious from what you saw over there. I don't even know how we didn't fucking hit that shit. It's shilled too. No, it's not. It's not shilled. That's the thing. There's no shilling here. Unless you're going to call this the shill. Their total damage is increased by 20%, but that applies to every team. So that is independent of any of the stuff in the game, and it looks similar to the Iuno team that we were using that gets a 20% more total arrow damage. It does more than Iuno, by the way. So that is something to keep in mind as well. So you can clearly see Lynae has some of the most team options out of any unit in the fucking roster. And one thing that I simply just need to mention over here is that, well, guys, she also works in compositions like this too, where you could just take a unit like, you don't even need to necessarily use the wheelchair. You could just take a unit, right, that she buffs decently well because she has so many general buffs, and then just like run shit like this, right? This one might fucking... I don't know if this clears. I kind of just want to try it out, right? A Lynae Galbrena team shorekeeper. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. We'll just have to find out, right? You could just like experiment in compositions with her because she's so general. I've used it. It works. What? Where's your fucking jump? Anyways, let's just pretend I didn't do that. Let's just pretend I didn't do that. And just go with the rotation normally. Not bad, right? Especially considering no echo skill synergy. It's just like... Right? Oh man, I kind of fucked up. I actually attacked too much. Whatever. Bro, look how many tomb breaks I'm doing. She just hit for like 100k off field. She just hit for... That hit for 200k, bro. Oh, my shorekeeper about to get the finishing move. And remember, this ain't even with a Mornier, right? This ain't even with the shorekeeper. And I think this Lynae is still on static mist. Okay, I kind of just griefed there, but okay, you know what I mean. What the fuck? Okay, we just lost Lynae's outro skill in the worst way I've ever seen. So, my bad, boys. Yeah, that was, I don't even know what happened there. So you can see over here, sure, let's just say this is the skill issue run, because I haven't ever played these characters together before. And, yeah, I'm going to be honest, Galbrena can't really do that much when that guy decides to jump into the air. I will be entirely real with you. Yeah, no, she really isn't that good when the enemy flies up like that. I'm beginning to realize this. Like, that was terrible. That was legitimately terrible. I was just like, wait, how do I even damage this guy? This guy is jumping a lot. I've never seen him jump this much before. So, think about it this way. This has to be the worst RNG moveset I've seen for this fucking boss. Just compare it to the other clears we were doing. He's cancer right now. He's actually cancerous right now. I don't even know how to describe it. This is bad. Dude! He just jumped like 7 times in 2 rotations. Anyways, that's just running like random, like fucking like hobo characters together. Bro, you would like never run this team, right? Like what is the circumstance you would... Bro, she was on static, missed the whole fucking time too. So it's like what it was certain... This looks like somebody's like... This looks like the Walmart clearance bin. This literally looks like the Walmart clearance bin of like fucking characters where it looks like they're not even supposed to synergize with each other. Like liberation damage buffing, like she's heavy attack and echo skill, right? But because Lynae's buffs are so general, she just buffs attack, gives so much attribute damage, and the static miss buffs attack too, right? It just ends up working. It just ends up working. And it's better than Zani Premium, even with me fucking around the whole time and not even attacking shit half the time. So yeah, it's just, you can kind of see what's going on over here. There's a lot of power. There's a lot of potential. And of course, it's a matter of you simply pulling this character, putting them on their Sonata set, and then putting them on Static Mist, and they can just fuck pretty much everything in the game, and you will probably have a teammate somewhere that works with them. It would be harder to find a character that doesn't work with this unit than one that does. However, I will give you a list of characters. Yeah, we'll just do that. Here's a list of characters that don't really work that well with Lynae. Sigrika. I guess Chu Yan, sort of. But you can run a Sustainless Sea if you wanted. Cardathea. And Zani. There you go. There you go. That's like the list of 3 DPS characters in the game that don't work that well with Lynae. I think that's it. Because you guys actually want to know probably the strongest Spectro team in the game that you could actually run right now. Let's do this one as a bit of a bonus. Let's just do this over here as a bit of a bonus. Let me go get my Giga Rejuvenating Glow set, guys. I've got a Rejuvenating Glow set that's like that kind of pops off. Wait, this is all arrow damage. I need my attack ones. I need my attack ones. Wait a second over here. Yeah, attack and wait, don't I have a Spectro damage? Oh, right. We steal this from Shorekeeper. Yes, we steal this from Shorekeeper. Like that. Oh, and then I get the attack over here. Oh, wait, no, they're the same. Oh, shit, I can't steal it from Shorekeeper. Wait, where's my Spectro damage bonus over here? Do I not have one anymore? All right, we'll just plus... Never steal from SK? Hey, surely this rolls like ER, right? Liberation damage? Heavy... That's some dog shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's fucking terrible. Wait a second. Wait a second. Here we go. The Chasm Guardian. Heavy attack. That's not good. Liberation. That is good. Bro, is this just gonna... Give me crit! Oh, wait. No, this is a potential Shorekeeper piece. Ew! Anyways, let's just put that one on for now. And we'll give Shorekeeper back her gear later. This is just like one of like the goofy ass things that you can decide to do. Just like put your rover on like a Static Mist, or sorry, an Emerald of Genesis, and then obviously make sure to swap them too. this is going to be better in 900% of circumstances than a Zani team. And with Phoebe available on this half, you can decide to play this team as well. I'm not even joking. And maybe, right, you're looking to decouple your Phoebe from your Zani because you hate playing the unit. You can weave in this combo too. This is going to be the Giga for fun team right here. So you switch your Rover over to Spectro, put your Lynae, keep her on Tomb Break mode, and then do a little bit of this. Check this shit out. You're going to do some of, well, start off on Spectro Rover over here, then get your Lynae going, and then, of course, get your Phoebe. And one thing I gotta do is actually make sure my Phoebe is on her Giga DPS set. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I actually have one of the most... Wait, what the fuck? Why is that not able to... Yeah, I don't fucking care about what's on... I don't give a shit about what's on Zani. This is my Phoebe DPS set. As you can see, that doesn't look... I probably need one more crit rate roll, actually. Yeah, no, I run one where I miss 2 on the build. What is this? Yeah, get this shit. Yeah, give me that shit back. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, now we're at like 93%. Oh, yeah, brother. 93, 289. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, that's usually what I run on the Phoebe over here. And, well, we can just check it out, see how this one looks, right? Because we got the 2 break boost. We got all that shit going. And this is a Giga homeless team, right? And remember, you got healing from Rover, right? And remember, right? Yo, who say this is bad, bro? Who say this is bad? Wait, there wasn't any frazzle on the Heron? Oh, whoopsies. Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's a bit of a misplay right there. Oh, okay. So that's with the gigantic fucking misplay on my... Okay, we might need to redo that if there was actually no frazzle. Oh, wait. No, there's actually no frazzle on this guy. Okay, yeah. No, cut this run out. Yeah, no, that was disastrous. Wait, this Heron was actually... That Heron was a menace there. Holy shit. Okay, yeah. No, that one should have been good. That's why I'm saying it's not really good, because I happen to have one situation where, like, where I got, like, a little bit unlucky. I don't think it's that bad, bro. Start with Lynae Unk. You can maintain Frazzle easy. Then again, I don't really know how to... This is like the first time I've ever played this team. Like, I'm playing it in like the simplest 1, 2, 3 imaginable. I mean, we basically are like getting it at like the same time. All right, how about this? Yeah, I'll be able to put a little bit of frazzle on this guy. All right, we had enough. Oh my gosh, bro. He, like, dodged my frazzle. He dodged my fucking frazzle, bro. Dude, this guy is a menace right now. Dude, don't stop doing that, man. Anyways, I think you can play that team better, but do realize that is on, I think, one of the most homeless teams in the game. And the Heron over there actually prevented me from reaching the 10 frazzle stacks that I needed to have uptime on Eternal Radiance like 300 times. I think that 100% that clears if a couple of conditions are met. And these conditions are this. This rover build is kind of shit. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, that might be a little bit too much. That might be a little bit too much crit rate on the build. I don't think he's actually dealing any damage. So I probably need like a crit damage thing over here and stuff like that. A bit of a build that is like, you know, that makes a little bit more sense. Maybe like a Chang Lee Sig or something like that. So his build is just straight up griefing at this point. So if I had a bit more of a damage-oriented build, that would probably make a lot more sense. And second, I think the Lynae rotation is fine, but of course it gets better with Sig. And when it comes to the Phoebe build over here, I think the Phoebe build is fine. And the main issue that I had was not really keeping up the frazzle stacks as much as I possibly could. Absolutely not at all. And the main issue with that is, well, to gain this nice little damage bonus from having Eternal Radiance, you need to actually have 10 stacks of Spectral Frazzle on them. And I was doing my best to do that on the Heron. Motherfucker was just jumping up and down, bro, like a fucking pogo stick. So, yeah, he was causing some issues for me. So just keep in mind that that is like the most budget team you can play with her. Naturally, I don't recommend it because Lynae's a lot stronger in other lineups. And Spectral Rover versus the Heron probably has to be one of the most uncomfortable things in the fucking game. And there's a reason why I don't like playing the fucking character, because, yes, playing Spectral Rover against the Heron makes me want to uninstall the game. But yeah, that's Lynae. That's all the potential team comps over there. Clearly, you can experiment, play with more because she's so general. But we just wanted to explore over here why she's considered one of the best pulls in the game. And you can see why I'm calling her the shorekeeper of sub DPSs. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.